The 3rd of November. Thank you so much to Bob for conducting last week's midweek reflection on the music, and then of course to Marion on Sunday for a wonderful online service regarding the Psalms. Both of them excellent. So thank you. So today for this reflection I thought, well, what's been happening? Well, to tell you the truth, it all revolves around water, believe it or not. So last week we were on holiday and we were up in the, well, Kinlochleven, which of course is near Fort William. So our friends very kindly gave us their home that they have up there, and we had a lovely 5 days, even including the weather. Yeah, it wasn't the best, but did you know that it only rains twice a year in Fort William? It really does. It rains from January to June and then July to December. See, twice a year. And that certainly came true while we were there. Anyway, so on the Tuesday, we travelled on the Monday and the weather was okay, hit and a miss. But on the Tuesday, we decided we would do Fort William. And one of the things that I had wanted to do, and I don't know why I've never done it, because I've been up there numerous times, was to visit Neptune's staircase. So you just go through Fort William and out to the other side a little bit, and there you are. Well, to say that, Neptune's staircase is a series of locks. It's the Caledonian Canal, and it's an amazing piece of technology. Amazing. I think it was Thomas Telford who did it, if I read that correctly. And just the amount of water from one level to the next, to the next, to the next. It's just, I find the lock system amazing. But huge amounts of water in them all. And then, well, it's as though God had turned on a tap from the sky, because it was bouncing down. And I thought, no, we're on holiday, we're used to getting wet, we're just going for it. Oh boy, was I sorry. We got absolutely drenched, but it didn't stop us. No, we just carried on. We're waterproofs, we're certainly very wet and running off onto my trousers, and I'm not going to tell you how wet it all was, but we didn't get back home until about 4:30, so couldn't have been that bad. So then I decided that, we're surrounded in water up there, aren't you? Loch Linnhe, which is at Fort William, of course. And beautiful. Now the roads up, there was lots of lochs that we passed as well. And then in Kinlochleven, they have what they call the Grey Mares Waterfall. Now I've been in Kinlochleven numerous times, and for some reason again have never visited that. So that's where we went one of the days as well, to see this Grey Mares Waterfall. And it's not that far. I mean, literally, I don't know, it couldn't be any more than 500-600 metres from my friend's house. So I'm going to show you a video now of the Grey Mares Waterfall. Now if you're on the phone, then you'll just hear the waterfall, but on this, of course, you will see it also. Absolutely stunning, magnificent. And waterfalls for me, you know, that Grey Mares waterfall, it's just like a grey mare's tail coming down. It was just amazing, the power of the water and the amount of water. You know, I just thought of Niagara Falls when we were there. I mean, how can so much water constantly keep coming over the hillside? I just find waterfalls an astonishing feature, because, you know, where does all that water come from? Even with all the rain that we get. Anyway, it was beautiful. Wednesday we went to Oban, and again on the journey there, it's only an hour or so from Kinlochleven, and past lots of lochs. And then, of course, we got to the Atlantic Sea in Oban, but we carried on further past down out of Oban, and we went over the little bridge that takes you over the Atlantic. And so we drove over the bridge, which means we drove over the Atlantic Ocean onto Seal Island. And then we walked back across the Atlantic over the bridge and then back across again. But it was lovely. But again, lots and lots of water. It's amazing. However, we'd no rain that day. Would you believe it? Not a drop of rain. It was cloudy, but not a drop of rain. So that was good. Then Thursday we decided to go to Skye, and we didn't go down to Malay and over on the ferry. We just decided to drive round. And we passed a place called Plockton, and yeah, Plockton has not fond memories, but memories of one of our members who sadly passed away a number of years ago, and I went up to do her funeral at Plockton. And we stopped at the hotel where her funeral tea was, and we had some tea and coffee and cakes. But all the way up there, of course, you have lots of lochs as well, and it was a beautiful day. A few clouds in the sky, that was all, but the sun was shining. Then we went over the Atlantic Ocean again as we went over the Skye Bridge and into Skye. And of course, as many of you will know, driving up to Portree, up in that road, there's waterfalls, there's lochs, there's lots of things happening. So it was water, 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 water. And then Friday, well, that was a nightmare again of our journey home. We just got onto the A9. We decided to come up and go down from Kinloch through Speenbridge and then over to the A9. We just got onto the A9. We saw the traffic stopped. Somebody very kindly let us in, and we moved 2 car lengths, and then that was us for 2.5 hours. And again, God had turned on a water tap because the heavens were pouring down, absolutely pouring down. So 2.5 hours later, we eventually get to where it seems the problem originally was, to find there's nothing there because it had all been cleared away by that point. However, a bit of a nightmare of a journey, but well, one had to stop at the House of Brewer, didn't one? And had a ball. So there was a silver lining, a rainbow in the sky, all because I got to stop at the House of Brewer. So, funnily enough though, on Friday evening we went out for a meal, and it was as though God had literally turned the tap back off, because I just drove along to the restaurant here locally, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. You could see all the stars. It was amazing, amazing. Lots of floods though, but water, water everywhere. That leads me to COP26, and I'm not going to bombard you with it all the time, but it is such a serious issue and a serious meeting where we hope and pray things will happen and agreements will be made, and these agreements will be kept. So I thought, COP26 is all about trying to stop the global temperature rising more than it absolutely has to. They're saying it's probably going to go above the 1.5 degrees more than it should. And yeah, that's not good, not good. So water levels across the world are rising. Land will disappear. With that, there'll be people's homes, livelihoods, industries, foods, so much more will all disappear. We're getting extremes of rains. Even here in Scotland, we're getting extremes. So there's floods. Crops are getting ruined. Animals may be in trouble. Businesses are struggling. So much more. So there's all of this going on, not only in Scotland, but in other areas of our world. But in yet other areas of the world, the temperatures are so high that there are droughts upon droughts upon droughts. The lack of rain, the lack of water. The areas are getting hotter and hotter and hotter. We heard of it being over 50 degrees. I mean, I just can't even begin to imagine what that's like when I can't even cope with 24, 25 degrees here in Britain. But these have all got effects, don't they? Because if you're living in that, and if you have air conditioning, you'll have it on all the time. Therefore, polluting the atmosphere more, using more energy, the list goes on and on. It just hurts the planet. Can you imagine people in these countries where they have to walk for water? They have to walk 1, 2, 3, 4 miles, and then carry that water all the way back? I mean, it just doesn't bear thinking about in this day and age. Now, some of these areas still don't even have proper toilets, never mind flushing toilets. So, yeah, it really is a concern. And talking of toilets, if you have an older style toilet, how much water are you flushing down that loo? The modern toilets have all these little push buttons where you can do a small amount or a large amount, depending on what you need to do. So, yeah, how much water is being wasted with the older style toilets? Gallons that are being flushed down the toilets that don't need to be. Do you still prefer a bath to a shower? Maybe a bath now and again, but really showers are much more economical with our water supplies and our energy supplies as well. What about, well, the one that affects me, and I've actually started already this week, is how much water I put in my kettle. Because I used to just put it under the tap, fill it, I knew, because put it up to whatever, and there was always about so much water left. So I've worked out roughly just about how much I need for 2 mugs for Billy and I. So we put the water in for that level and we're doing fine. Absolutely fine. Do you leave your water running when you brush your teeth or peel your vegetables? That was something I used to do years ago, but stopped doing quite a number of years ago. So these little bits. Do you wait until you have enough washing for your washing machine or enough dishes for your dishwasher just to put it on once? Or do you just throw in a couple of things because they need done? Or do we have these nice new washing machines that only put so much water in to cover what the weight that's in the washing machine? There's lots of different ways now for energy efficiency as well as reducing the water. Now, I know in Scotland we feel we have loads of water, especially from the sky. But water is one of the sources of life. We need it to survive, no matter who we are or where we are. For without water, we will die. And without water, so will God's creation. So let's support everything we can do in COP26, and let's raise awareness about everything that is going on. And let's do our little bit, for every little bit can build and build and build into something much, much bigger. God bless everyone.